Alright, hello, Mr. Newton here. Welcome to the Lord of the Rings Total War Remastered for Total War Rome Remastered. So, Diego Vexeriano is the creator of Total War 1942 and the Israel Total War. He also did the model work of Star Wars Total War. Alright, the latest versions of Star Wars Total War, not the early ones. Okay, but anyway, this is a remastered version of Lord of the Rings Total War for Rome Total War Alexander, originally released in 2013. I believe the first version was released in 2007, and the latest one was of the official versions were released in 2013. Then we had some submods released as late as 2018, I believe, maybe even 2020 or something, 2021. But this is the remastered version released, I believe, earlier last year. I believe it was released around summer 2022, sorry. Okay, so I had started an Isengard-campaign in this mod, but I only made one episode, so we'll continue it. But before we do that, we will check some stuff. So we can play a new game. It's the War of the Ring, and there is the original Third Age Tale. In the Third Age Tale, it aims to be exactly like the mod Lord of the Rings Total War for Rome Alexander, or very close to it. Well, the War of the Ring campaign, I believe, has more options, like a bigger map, more factions, different features, submods, etc. Well, the original Third Age Tale only has, I believe, the original stuff. Maybe it has some submods too, but it aims to be more strictly like the Rome Total War version. Okay, so I will try a few things before loading the campaign, so see you soon. Alright, Mr. Niren here, welcome back to the Isengard-campaign in the Lord of the Rings Total War Remastered for Total War Rome Remastered. We'll jump straight into the battle and hope it won't crash. Boromir versus Lurt here. In the beginning of the campaign. I've only done one episode previously on this version of the mod. I believe this battle crashed the last time I tried to play it. End of the last episode, which was the first episode. I played it like during the summer 2022, I believe, or a bit after that. I wanted to go back to it. I'm forced to use two computers at once when I play Total War Rome Remastered, because my gaming computer is a Windows 7 computer and this game won't start on Windows 7. So I need to stream it on my Windows 10 computer. That's why I can't.
A new order will rise. Our time has come.
That's why I can't use the maximum graphics, because that computer is weaker than my gaming computer. Still a gaming computer, but it's not as powerful as the one with Windows 7. Let's see here. We can start the deployment.
Draw your weapons.
We have good enough graphics. Still looks way better than on the old Rome Total War engine. Yeah, it sucks I can't use maximum graphics. If it was running on my Windows 7, I would have been able to use maximum graphics, because that gaming computer is better. I believe the one that has Windows 10 is from 2009, so it's a bit older and can't handle the maximum graphics, while the one with Windows 7 is from 2013. So that's why it's a bit better than the 2009 computer. But it's still old by now. Okay. I didn't want to update to Windows 10 because Medieval 2 mods work better on Windows 7 and Windows XP than on Windows 10, unfortunately. I have only a few units Uruk-hai Marauders and Orc Raiders.
Uruk-hai!
Start the battle then.
The enemy brings up
Lurt.
more swords!
It's like an archer unit,
As if
I
that
think.
might save him now!
Scouts, yeah. Let's pause the game.
Uruk-hai!
He's the archer unit. I'm not used to this UI, so we will have to play and get used to it. I'm used to the old UI of Medieval 2. And I thought it crashed, but it didn't. For some reason I tabbed out. Okay. The other computer I tabbed out.
Get ready to fight!
So I don't know where the enemy is. Probably here. I believe we are fighting Aragorn. Strider. The Dunedain Ranger. Here he is, I think. I don't know why it constantly taps out like this. Annoying.
Uruk-hai!
Ah, this is our army. Here I see something. Ah, here's the enemy. We have Rangers of Ithilien here. Send troops there.
Back on the menu.
Send the orcs.
You boys.
Lurts can also move.
Back on the menu, boys.
Didn't need to group them. Formation, yeah, he should be in loose formation. I think they disappeared because he can hide anywhere, then become invisible to the player. What the fuck, it randomly tabs out. I have no idea why. It didn't happen the last time, but it happens all the time now. And as soon as I go back into the game, it tabs out. I'm looking at the other computer now to see if it looks weird when it taps out. The graphics are clearly worse on the other computer. I'm still making use of my better graphics card of the Windows 7 computer here by streaming it, but I can't use the maximum graphics because the game is running on the Windows 10 older computer with a more modern operating system, which means that the game is running on that computer. So if I place everything on maximum graphics, it will lag because that computer can't handle the maximum graphics. But the graphics still look way better on the Windows 7 computer than on the other computer when I look at the screens, because I have a better graphics card when running it on the Windows 7, even if I do not use the maximum settings for graphics. But I still think these graphics are good enough. Don't like the long grass in this area. You can hardly see the troops. I like looking at the troops and all that. The problem with Rome to the Lore and to the Lore Remastered is that we do not have the third-person mode that a modder made for Medieval 2 Lore Kingdoms. I can't control any hero in third person, which would have been awesome in this game. I'm sure it works in the original Rome to the Lore if someone made a similar mod for it. I believe it alters the .exe file while the game is running. It worked in Medieval 2, it should work in Rome to the Lore. Medieval 2 is the engine of Medieval 2 the Lore Kingdoms is pretty much an updated Rome to the Lore engine, so if it works in Medieval 2, it should work in Rome. But someone needs to make the same mod for Rome to the Lore, which is unlikely to happen. But with the remastered version, it's not likely to work because it's completely different in how it's made. Might be very similar in how it plays and all that, but the files are different, and so I mean it's not the same to edit the X as it would be if you edited X of the original game. believe it would be way more difficult to do it on the remastered version, if not impossible. Yeah, it would have been cool to control Lurt, for example, as in third person battle. I might do a third age campaign instead, where I do that in Medieval 2. Play as Isengard in Divide and Conquer, maybe, or third age 4.0. I like these graphics more, but yeah, it sucks I can't control the general. I enjoy that part, but this game can still be fun. For its strategic battles, you just play it like a normal Total War game. Of course the grass here is really annoying, you can hardly see your troops. Long grass. Still beautiful, but yeah, I don't like it. I prefer a field where the grass is not this tall. Where I can actually enjoy the troops better. The Rangers entered the lead. They were charged by the Urkai Marauders. So we need to do something. Settings. Audio settings. Music volume. Might want to lower the master too. It's a bit too loud. Firm. Okay, much better, but maybe too silent. Need to find some balance there. I don't want it to be so loud that you can't hear what I'm saying. I don't want it to be too loud, too low either. I enjoy hearing the sounds of the units and such. Okay, we can probably increase it a little bit more. Okay, this will probably do. Couldn't have maximum master sound. Yeah, the graphics look way better in this version of the mod than in the original, that's for sure. Hopefully it won't continue to tab out like it did on the other computer. Annoying. Okay, so Isengard is my favorite Lord of the Rings faction. I prefer them ever since playing Battle for Middle-earth and Battle for Middle-earth 2 on the computer back in the day. So Battle for Middle-earth is from 2004, I believe. I bought it back in 2004, and then Battle for Middle-earth 2 is from 2005. And then there was an expansion, Rise of the Witch King, I believe, released in 2006. I have all of those games. I even bought 2 copies of the first game, it was my favorite. Battle for Middle-earth 2 is the better game if you want more factions and more units and such, but Battle for Middle-earth 1 had a better system of how you play the game. In the second game, you send out workers like in Age of Empires and have them build stuff and such. Some people prefer that. It's actually more popular than the other system, but in Battle for Middle-earth 1 you have static like points where you build buildings. So it's more of a fort where you can only construct buildings at certain locations. But I found that system easier and more fun. I had a problem in the second game that my workers were killed and such. Well, in the first game we didn't have that problem because you didn't have workers. Instead you had bases and you just constructed the right buildings, and then you recruited troops from the buildings, and then the enemy destroyed your buildings. And it was a matter of taking over different areas on the map with build points, so you could build more buildings. In the second game they made it more like other strategy games where they added the workers and you send out the worker to build everything. That's fun too, where you can decide where you want to build stuff and so, but I I just found that more difficult, as the workers can be
We
killed and
were
such.
whipped, lads.
So I prefer the
Whipped
first game.
bad. But we still got our heads on our shoulders. And
Okay.
I guess that's something.
Clear defeat, we lost the battle. Alright. But I haven't really played Battle of Middle-earth since Medieval Total War Kingdoms came. I missed out on Rome Total War back in the day, you know. It released in 2004. I played it for the first time maybe in 2009 or something. So my first Total War was Medieval Total War Kingdoms, which I bought in 2008 or 7. I believe in 2007 actually I bought Medieval 2 and the Kingdoms expansion. I believe I bought both at the same time. So yeah. And since I started playing Medieval 2 Total War Kingdoms, I haven't played Battle of Middle-earth or Battle of Middle-earth too much, because I just lost interest in that gameplay style. But prior to playing Medieval Total War Kingdoms, my favorite strategy game was actually Battle of Middle-earth, because it was epic. It was the first strategy game that allowed you to have like battalions of troops moving around and fighting. Prior to Battle of Middle-earth, you had Warcraft 3 and Age of Empires and other games like that, where you had like same system of recruitment as in Battle of Middle-earth 2, where you sent out workers and built stuff and gathered resources and such. But you only recruited one unit each time from buildings. So an army was one unit. While in Battle of Middle-earth you had an entire battalion of maybe 9 units instead of one you had 9 or 6 or something. So it was much more epic. The numbers on the battlefield were much more epic. But Medieval 2, that changed everything. All of a sudden Medieval 2 took that spot from Battle of Middle-earth. I mean, Battle of Middle-earth is still fun, but now it doesn't look that impressive anymore. Then we have Medieval 2 and Third Age Total War, the mod, which turns Medieval 2 into Lord of the Rings. This is Lord of the Rings for Rome Total War, but for the remastered version. It's similar, but
Back on the menu.
I would say that this one has a more modern UI and maybe even more beautiful graphics, but that this one, I don't know how stable it is. It might be less stable, we'll see.
Listen up.
So we were defeated, Lurts were killed. In Lord of the Rings Total War, they tried to follow the movies. Well, in Third Age Total War, they followed both the books and movies. I believe they followed the movies for the style of the units and such, and movie scenes and so on, events in the game, where they have cutscenes playing and such. But they didn't follow the movies when it came to the story. Instead, they followed the books. It's a mix between movies and books. While this game, Lord of the Rings Total War, and Lord of the Rings Total War for Alexander, which is the original Rome expansion, this version of the mod and the Rome Total War original, they were 100% basing the mod on the movies. So even the story is based on the movies, and that's why Lurt dies immediately at the hands of Aragorn, and yeah, you can't really save him. If I play Third Age Total War, Lurt won't die. He will start as a general over here, and you can do whatever you want with him and other generals. But in this mod, they tried to follow the actual story of the movies, so that's why you have no chance but to sacrifice Lurt in the beginning here. He dies immediately. Okay, so Lurt is a hero, but you cannot really save him from his demise unless you use a cheat and auto-win the battle. Okay, because you can use auto-win cheat, I believe. At least in the original. I don't know about the remastered version, but it should probably be possible to use the same cheats.
Listen up. Quit your jabbering.
Okay, so it's Saruman inside of Isengard. He can't move out. You need to give him the ring probably, or it's a different event in this version of the mod. I believe in the original you had to take the ring to Saruman before he could move out from Isengard. Okay, so we can build stuff. continue to simply recruit troops. I want... No, I don't want another siege. What I want is... I guess I could go for some troops. Vanguard unit would have been nice. That's a spearman unit. Okay, then we'll go for an axe unit. Then we can go for some spearmen. Okay. Grimmerwormtongue is the diplomat. Speak to Rowan. So we're playing, I believe, the original campaign here. Could be wrong. Ask for map information. They demand 4,430 denarii. Then they will give us map information. Much money do we have? I don't know. We have a lot of money, 15,000. I don't think it's really... Might be worth it. Let's go for it. Okay. If you check the map, by the way. I believe we did it in the first episode, but... Anyway. Have these areas seen here. Isengard, Gondor, Rohan, Mordor, Unknown, Gladrim, Dunlendings. All our neighbors. And Rowan's neighbors. I believe this is the original Third Age campaign, called the War of the Ring campaign in the original mod, I believe. Okay, but here the new campaign is called War of the Ring, and the old campaign is called the Third Age campaign. Okay, so buildings. Are we constructing? We are. I think we can end the turn. Lurt's faction are... this commander is struck down on the battlefield while facing the enemy. Yeah. So the text is a little bit small because I'm sitting a bit away from the TV screen that I'm using, the computer. I'm sitting in my sofa, and I'm like 4 meters away or 3 meters away. That's why the text is a little bit small. Okay, we'll shut down this and end the turn. Aragon attacked. Army here. I think with this battle, kind of want to fight it in real time, even if it can crash. Let's hope it won't crash. I love the strat model, by the way, for Isengard here. Really cool model, much better than the old one. Demise has updated the model. It'll pause the recording as long as it loads, so you don't have to see the loading screen. Okay, see you soon. Alright, it's about to enter the battle.
Victory is at hand. There will be no dawn for men.
Sure. Still have the grass, but it's better here, I think. We have darker battlefield too. I love that he has added the Saruman narrator in the beginning of the battle and orc sounds and voices from the original mod. I believe all the factions had unique voices, I believe, and such in the original. I tabbed out again. Hopefully that won't continue to happen. It happens when I move the camera a lot with the directional buttons, the double V button and the A, S and D buttons. We'll lose formation with the archers. Group the others. One group. Start the battle. There are 2 enemies, Gimli and Aragorn. Old guards, bodyguard of Gimli. You can see it there. Okay. Let's attack them. There is Aragorn over there. We'll attack him with the archer. And all of the infantry will attack Gimli. Yeah, I like the models. I always liked the models. The only models I didn't like was the old ones for the Free Peoples of Eriador and maybe the normal orcs of Mordor. Like these troops. They look good here. They didn't look good in the original mode because you couldn't see the details clearly. This battlefield is a little bit too dark. But it's fine. It's just that you can't really see the details on the Uruk-hai, which I like to do. Okay. But they like fighting in the dark. It gives them bonuses, I believe, in lore. And the orcs fight during the night. The Uruk-hai, they can fight during the day too, I believe. Unlike other orcs. So they are outnumbered, but I think they will win. They are heroes. They are OP. I believe Gimli's all guards unit is an elite unit. And we have 2 units of the worst orcs. These units, the orc raiders, the worst melee orcs in Isengard's army. Then we have a unit of Uruk-hai Marauders. They are decent, but they are medium troops, not elite heavy troops like Gimli's bodyguard here. The Dunedain or Ithilien Rangers of Aragorn are also elite bowmen. So they will probably win against the scouts. They are medium archers. So we will probably lose. I still wanted to see the battle in real time. So we will play the other Isengard-campaign in the original mode for Alexander only if this one CTD or crashes the desktop too often. So we'll see, we'll play this, and if it's stable enough we will continue this one and finish the campaign. And if it starts to CTD, crash the desktop constantly or something, then I will switch to the original mode, play on Alexander instead. It won't make much of a difference. The only difference is that this has a better better graphics, better UI. Some people like the old UI. I like the old UI, don't get me wrong. This is a modern UI. So the UI is different, the graphics are better here, and then there are improvements to this version of the mod and to the game that are not in the old game. So I would prefer to play this version if it's stable. But I've heard that there are some issues with crashing and such, so we'll see. I also love the blood effects here. In the original mod for Room to Lore, I believe there are no blood. I believe in Room to Lore there is no blood. Blood was added in Medieval 2, so there were no blood in Room to Lore. But in the remastered version they've added a blood mod. It's not possible in Rome, unfortunately. So I also prefer that here, that you have blood. Bloodless battles are not as interesting to watch. So yeah, I would prefer playing the game on this version. When it comes to the elves, on the other hand, I might play on the other version because they have cool civilian units and such that are not in this version for some reason. Because it's nice to, you can take over an area and then you can check the area in the civilian view. Then you can see your own troops walk around in the city and your civilians. So for Isengard it would be troops walking around. For the elves it would be civilians, at least in the original version, with Good Elves submod of course. But in this version it's troops instead, I believe. Good Elves submod has added 2 females or 3 females with different looks, and then I believe there are there were 3 females and 2 males. All of them are civilians to walk around. Of course there are more than 5 people and you watch that view. I believe there are 5 different models for civilians walking around. but they are multiplied, so there are like hundreds of them, or thousands. Okay. And then there are two different soldiers. There is a spearman unit that walks around with a shield and spear. Then there is a bowman unit that walks around with a bow on his back, I believe. So it's possible for the civilians or soldiers in the civilian view to have spears. I believe Wood Elf told me that the way he solved it in the original mod in Road to War was that he rigged the weapon not to the hand but to the arm. Then it worked, because the vanilla game removes the weapon in the civilian view automatically if it's rigged to the right hand. But if you rig it to the arm instead, it's still kept. So that way he managed to have patrolling soldiers that held their weapons in the civilian view. If it's rigged to the right arm, the weapon will disappear and they will walk around unarmed instead, because it's supposed to be a civilian view where you see civilians. So it would take the soldier unit and remove the weapon, making a civilian out of the soldier. Of course, Good Elf added unique civilians of both genders, which I enjoy. I also enjoy that the soldiers walked around with their weapons visible. So you have like civilians walking around, and then you have one or two soldiers here and there too, patrolling the streets. Very immersive. Feels like, if you look at your own cities, it feels like a proper elven city with civilian elves and soldiers patrolling and such. If you look at an enemy city that you have taken, then your civilians have moved in and are now living in the enemy city, and your troops are patrolling the streets. So it feels like you have taken over. You cannot check enemy cities if they are held by the enemy, but you can select them if they are held by your own faction. And of course, this version of the game and mod has a civilian view too. They do not have the same models, because the original Lord of the Rings of War mod didn't have those civilians. I believe the original mod had like soldiers. Oh, now it tabbed out again. It had soldiers, not civilians. I don't like that it... now I know why it tabs out. I know why. It's Bandicam, the recording program. Whenever I reach the area of Bandicam with the mouse, the game taps out automatically. I believe I'm actually recording it, and I probably have it on windowed. I need to change that later. I can't change it now during a recording. I'll try that for the next video, because it's really annoying. Whenever I move the mouse up to the middle there, then Bandicam becomes visible and tabs out. So it's important to fix that for the next video. Bandicam is not set on, I believe, recording in-game. I believe it records the screen. We are streaming, that way it works. That's also why the game taps out whenever you place the mouse on Bandicam. It's not visible here, but it's visible. And you move up the mouse. The weird thing is that Bandicam also is visible on the other computer, despite being run from this computer. It's weird. Urkai scouts are moving back. Yeah, these models look awesome, I think.
Have a bolt ready. Have a fire!
But hopefully we will get a more beautiful screen. I mean, more beautiful battlefield the next time. Brighter colors, where we can look at the troops and their details, and without tall grass that pretty much like is in the way of the model. Here we have perfect grass, but it was too dark, maybe. Darkness is usually good, because it lags more when you have light.
Have a bolt ready.
The darker it is, the less lag
Have a bolt ready.
is usually the case.
Shoot 'em down.
Here I have an Uruk-hai officer too. By the way, I think it would be more immersive if we increase the sound a little bit. We'll place it in the middle. For the music, I want the music to be louder. The reason I never did part 2 of this campaign earlier in 2022 is because I need to have both computers running, and I have had the other computer shut down most of the time. I usually don't want to have both on at the same time, because it takes more electricity power. In essence, I get a more costly energy fee if I have both running all the time. But now I have had it on because I found out that if I want to do videos, it's annoying to wait like many hours for videos to upload to YouTube, so I upload them on the other computer while playing on this computer. That way I can do both at the same time. It won't work with this mod, of course, because I'm streaming this on the other computers. I'm using both to play this game. When I play, for example, Herald of War or Warcraft of War for Medieval 2, or one of the original mods for Rome of War, then I can play those mods. Then I can upload on the other computer, and I can continue to play on this one, so I don't need to wait on the upload to finish. Instead, if I decide to play on this computer and then upload on this computer, then I need to wait, and it takes like 2 to 3 hours to upload and then process the video. At least I need to wait for the upload to finish, and that takes 2 hours sometimes. So yeah, it takes forever, and if I instead decide to play when it's uploading, then it will lag because the computer is slowed down during the upload process. So unless I want it to lag, I need to wait for the upload to finish, and my other solution is to have it upload on a different computer while I'm playing, enabling me to play and upload at the same time, which is good. But it won't work with this one.
Have a bolt ready.
So after this video has been recorded, I will need to upload it, and I will probably upload it on well, it could work if I play a different game when this is uploading on the other computers. If I upload this video on the other computer, I can play, for example, Medieval 2 at the same time as it is uploading,
Release the bolt.
or the original Rome to Glory with mods, or any other game on this computer. But I can't stream this game when I'm uploading, because that would require me to use both computers to play this game, and because it's running on the other computer while being streamed on this one, so it's actually seen on both screens. And yeah, it would take up resources of the other computer to play on it, and if I upload at the same time, it will probably cause lag. So this is the original Third Age campaign. I'm pretty sure I didn't pick the longer one. I will check the older video to make sure that I'm playing the old one. But anyway, I think I picked the old one because I wanted to play Isengard for a long time on the old version of the mod, and decided to play on this one instead. So I went for the same campaign to get the same experience, but with better graphics, more improvements and such. For some reason we are just running around, escaping from the enemy. They killed all our infantry. The Italian Rangers are hunting our Uruk scouts. Rangers of the North. So they weren't Italian Rangers, they were Rangers of the North. Here we have Aragon himself. The sword here, I believe he is the guy with the hair. The others have a kind of cloak. Well, Aragon doesn't have a cloak. We can hardly see him because of the dark guy because of the night. So in medieval 2 we can switch between melee and ranged attack by holding Alt, but I don't know how to do that in remastered version. I believe it works in Rome to Lore as well, and in Lord of the Rings to Lore, which is a mod for it. But in this mod, maybe the buttons are different, and I don't know the buttons. I wanted to order the scouts to just charge in melee, because it takes forever otherwise. Ah, it is the same button, I just didn't have the unit selected. Let's charge soldiers. Ah, fuck, I moved up the mouse again and tabbed out because I reached the area of Bandicam again. I need to change how Bandicam records for the next video. I think we will end this video at the start of the next battle, and then we will probably, I will fix Bandicam, and then I will do another episode. I want to say this more, but I don't want that issue with Bandicam.
Guess that's something.
Alright, so we lost the battle, clear defeat. We had 2 clear defeats. So if the game crashes, it might actually be good that we are using Bandicam in windowed mode, because then it will continue to record even after a crash, I believe. If we use the other option, I'm pretty sure that we will lose the recording if it crashes. So it might be bad from that point of view, but I won't have the issue with the game tabbing out all the time when I reach the area of Bandicam. So I don't know. It should also be possible to stream this live over Steam and to use the NVIDIA Shadow Player recorder, but both of those are bad. The streaming causes worse quality in the video, and if I use NVIDIA Shadow Player recorder, we will have many smaller videos, so I will have to process the video. It takes a long time to do. I could do it on the other computer like I did in 2021. I played on one computer and processed it on the other. Basically the same thing I'm doing now with the uploads, but it still takes longer than if I can just upload immediately. Because the processing takes about as long as uploading, sometimes longer. Okay, Lurt, candidate for promotion, garrison commander. Okay, we'll accept. Okay, and then we have this guy, and your forces melt away. Okay, officer fell in battle. Okay. I think we're done there. We're moving troops back to Isengard. Okay.
Meat's back on the...
I think we do not need all the troops here.
Quit your jabbering! Quit your jabbering!
Okay, marauders. Move out the scouts and the marauders. Can't walk or move a lot, it would seem. Move out the shitty troops from Isengard.
Listen up!
Only want an elite army here.
Quit your
Can
jabbering!
also move out a general.
Come on! Charging army!
This general can move out too. Move all the way to the wood camp there. We have a general there already. We need 2 generals there. Moving this general
Back on the menu.
here. This general I think will go back to Isengard. Okay. Then we have the troops here.
Listen up!
In this area, Fangon Camp, we have 2 units of Orc Raiders and 1 unit of Urkai Scouts and the Bodyguard. I believe the Bodyguard is the same for all the generals. It's the cool heavy Urkai. Not used it. The buttons too. Maybe here. Faction summary. Character bodyguard unit. Yeah, here. Heavy infantry. Red guards. Yeah, it's the generic bodyguard. It's a cool bodyguard. Okay. We're moving a Urkai scouts to the Fangon camp. We already have one in the Dunland camp. Orc raiders and the general there too. We'll move these guys there too. Okay. This constructing. We are building the Isengard forge in Isengard. And the recruitment. We are constructing a siege bow, I believe. Okay. Can't do anything more. End the turn. Forgot to move Grima Valentine, the diplomat. Move him to Dunland to speak with Dunland. Move these troops.
Listen up!
Move there.
Listen up!
Move this guy too.
Quit your jabbering!
And this guy, Mauher, I believe, he can move to Isengard itself. He led the great army during the siege of Helm's Deep. He will obviously be the guy leading the army. We can't move out Saruman. He will stay in Isengard, just like in the books. He can be moved out whenever we have the ring, I believe. Okay. Can't do anything more here. We lost the troops. Lurt's report. End of turn report. Okay. Something interesting. We're constructing a building. Could probably attack. Are we at war with Rohan? Yeah, I think we are at war, but faction summary. Yeah, I'm not used at these ranking. Finance and family lists. Move treasures. Agents. I'm really not used to the stuff here. We have settlements. Settlements. We can see all the settlements here. Details. Allies are blue. Enemies red. Neutrals are yellow. Okay. I like this improvement that we can see everything on the map like this. It wasn't possible in the old game. I kind of want to know how to bring up the actual faction menu. Don't need a wiki, Jesus Christ. Main menu. Here you can see faction leader Saruman. Here is the diplomacy screen that I looked for. Okay, sits down here in the corner. So you're allied to Mordor, Orc rebels, the goblins, and the Dunlandings, Waldman of Dunland. Enemies, you're at war with free peoples of Middle Earth, or Eriador, Gondor, Rohan, Dwarven clans, which is the Erebor dwarves, and the Heredluan dwarves in one faction. Then we have Noldor elves. So the Noldor elves, they are Imladris and Lindon in one faction. Then we have the Gladrim, which is Lorien. We have Sylvan elves, which is Tranduil's realm, the forest. And we have Dale, the kingdom of Dale. And the rebels, which is called the unknown faction. Okay. We have moved Grima.
Noble master?
And we can end the turn. Then landing is moved. Force here. Okay.
Noble
We
master?
can actually speak to this guy.
Welcome, friend.
Okay, so offer. You can offer to attack a faction, give a region, make single payment, regular tribute, map information, become a protectorate. You can also request them to attack a faction, give region, regular tribute on map information. We'll request map information.
A most generous proposal.
Right, they accepted. Now we have Dunlands areas on the map. They have this area, their capital, Dunyard. And then they have an area over here too. Birig. Okay.
Sir.
Let's move over here. We want to speak to the goblins too, the orc rebels.
Sir.
Prefer calling them the goblins. Like in the movies, I believe. Okay. Report with a siege bow and Urkai spearman in Isengard. And end of turn report. Okay, done. So seems to have a kind of a slow start in this mod. We need to build up and such. We'll continue to recruit. Just stay where we are. And move Grima Wormtang, the diplomat.
Noble master?
End the turn again. We want a fully sized elite Urkai army before we attack Rohan. Can speak to the orc rebels here.
I shall speak with them at once.
No, this is actually Birig. The down landing area. Okay.
Your honor.
Don't need to speak to them. About their troops too. They have the faction leader here. Rank 24. He's the only one in the city. Okay. That's not the capital. That was the smaller town. We are still constructing and building stuff and recruiting, so we'll click end turn. Okay, we are still recruiting as far as I can see, but we are finished with the construction. See here, recruitment report. We have new Urkai spearmen, Urkai axemen. Construction report completed in Isengard, an Isengard forge. Unit end of turn report, recruitment report, and end of turn report. Okay. Recruit some, build something else. Surface mines maybe. Be good. Economy. One thing I don't like with this version of the mod that I preferred in the old version of Lord of the Rings Total War for Alexander. I believe Alexander is a mod for Total War. Okay, so the excuse me. So the one thing I like there that I don't like here is that they have made the Urks very rare. You could recruit them everywhere in the other mods. If you took over this area, you could recruit Urks here. But in this version of the mod, you can only recruit them from orc areas, which means you can get them from Isengard, and if you take the mountains, you can get them from the mountains too, I guess. Here it was possible from Mordor. I'm not 100% certain it's possible from the mountain, but it should probably be. So in essence, you can only get your best stuff from specific areas in this version of the mod. Well, in the old version you could get them from everywhere. I believe this mod is as such more close to lore, but it's more fun if you can recruit them everywhere. Because when you have an army over here, You don't want to recruit them in Isengard and have to move all the way. Sure, you can recruit them in Mordor and in the mountains and such, but even if you can recruit them over here, it's still annoying if you're over here with the army or over in the other corner here. So in essence, and on this smaller map it's still workable, but on the huge map it will be really annoying, you know, to move from one area to the other with new units if they can only be recruited from Isengard, for example. You have a million areas between Isengard and Mordor. Okay, so it will take a long time to reinforce armies. I had thought about changing that before playing this, because I wanted to have the same recruitment as in the original, but decided to continue this campaign that I started last summer. I had started it again from scratch. I would have probably edited the file and the EDB file, I believe, the export Esker buildings file, and change the recruitment so that you can get Urkai from every area, because that's just more fun, because then you don't need to march them from far away to reinforce your army. Then if you take, for example, this area, you can recruit them here. And then when you have the army down here, you can move the new troops from here there, instead of having to move them all the way from Isengard. Okay. But anyway, we'll play this version now. Okay, so we are still recruiting troops. How many troops do we have in Isengard? Let's see. We lack 2 units. We'll continue to wait. Alright, end of turn report. Recruitment report, we have Uruk-hai Axemen and Uruk-hai Spearmen in Isengard. We have 1 more slot remaining. We will move with
Your Honor.
Grima Wormtongue. Move over here. Here we have a faction, Stenedial bandits. I believe it's usually taken by the goblins. They are on their way here. Bandits. There are a bunch of goblins there, 2 archer goblins, hunter goblins, warrior goblins, and raider goblins. And we'll speak to the goblins.
Welcome, friend.
We are already allies, but we want their map information. We will give them our map information too. Okay.
Would you consider
They want to be paid, it's fine.
our thanks?
Okay. Okay, so we got their map information too. Means we have both downland and goblins or orc rebels. And we have Rowan too, so we got their map information. Okay, so on this map it's still workable to have a regional recruitment where you need to recruit Uruk-hai in specific areas, but imagine if the map is many times as big and then moving them from just one area, it would take forever. But in this campaign I think it's fine. Okay. I think we are ready in 1 turn. So we'll with both the construction and the recruitment. So we'll end the turn soon. We'll move with Grima a little bit.
At once.
Okay, and then end the turn. Okay, we had some unfinished business here. Path blocked and idle resources report. An active settlement, downland camp. Let's see, it's inactive. We can recruit here. No, we can't. It's a fort. There's no recruitment. Of course it's inactive. We can't do anything there. Okay, let's end the turn. Over here we have Helm's Deep. Here we have Edoras. We have the crossing, the Dunharrow area. With the Daedar. Okay. We're still constructing, but we can recruit some troops. We have a full-sized army now. Oh, we lack one unit.
Back on the menu.
Move them over there. I need one more unit. Saruman doesn't count. I have no money for some reason. Turn report. And we'll stop that one. And go for another unit instead. Okay, spearmen are good against Rowan. We'll go for them. We'll also move with Grima Wormtongue.
At once.
Oh, we have an elf here.
No
Elro
more.
here. Okay. I believe he is one of the new generals that were added from Good Elf's submod, but I don't believe Dagoex added everyone, because I didn't see Arwen neither in custom battle nor on the campaign. So Arwen also was a custom general in Good Elf submod, added to custom battle only. They added her to the campaign and started that campaign. So I am actually playing the original version of this mod. I did one episode, and where I placed an older elves, which is Imladris over here, and Linden, and the high elves pretty much, and I added the eagles from the files to the game, to the free peoples, and I added Arwen as a hero for this faction. The reason he didn't add Arwen is probably because he didn't have female voice lines for her. But I didn't really care about that. Okay. So we are recruiting here. We will end the town. Sufficient induction ceremony. Headhunter Razzle. This commander has been given special title for his deeds. Okay. That's good. By keeping him in this area, he gets special titles and stuff. Okay, let's end the turn now. Finally, we are ready to attack.
Meat's back on the menu.
We'll certainly move out this unit too. Now we have a fully sized Isengard army. We can finally attack. We want to cut off Rowan from the East here. We want to separate them from this area. We'll attack this area first. We have troops in the camps. I think they will stay there. Defend. Can move it. Grima Wormtongue. Towards the elves. Here we have an area Orwell. But by the free peoples, we'll speak to them too. End of turn report. Recruitment report. We have a new Urkai spearman. Yeah, we moved it into the army. Okay. For our economy. Do we have money, I think. Yeah. We can build another army immediately. Let's go for spearmen first. Okay, we'll end the turn. Continue our march towards this area of Ginyard.
Noble master?
Speak to this
Be
guy.
quick.
Miss them.
Our patience is limited.
Okay. But ceasefire.
A most generous proposal.
Agreed. Good. Here we have the free peoples of Eriador. Units like light infantry, militia, peasant horsemen, farmers. They're really bad troops, but they have some good troops like Ents
Noble master?
and Eagles. But I don't believe if I don't know if the Eagles are in this version of the mod. I added them in the other version. The Ents should be. They are scripted. They are for the Fellowship campaign, I believe. Okay, let's end the turn. Turn report, recruitment report. Well, we already have a new unit, I think. We're here. Good. We can actually recruit another one. No, we have no money. We have moved Rima Wormtongue.
Waiting your command.
We'll end the turn. Okay, we can finally attack. But I don't really want to. Let's see here.
Listen up!
We'll attack with
Destroy them!
intense siege.
Revive! Kill them!
Let the armor be AI control. Then I will control the siege engine myself. Said I wouldn't play another battle, but I think we'll do an exception here. We'll save the game first, of course. We'll maintain everything. Then I'll save the game because we don't know if it might crash. Save the game. We will save another time. No, we don't. We will overwrite the Isengard 1 save too. Because I don't trust the auto-saves. I think they will be overwritten automatically by others when we end the time. So here we have an army, Captain Seore. So there are rebels in this game. I never liked rebels. No revolts and such. I prefer playing without revolts and without rebels. Anyway, let's assault. Inside the settlement we have Governor Grimbold of Rohan, an army. It's a large force. I need to pause the recording here because I need to do some personal business. See you soon. Alright, I'm back. So we have Captain Sarbag leading the I believe their siege bow. Soldiers deployed 19. Yeah, it's just the crew. And then we have the real army with General Mauher. Ah fuck, I placed the general in the AI army. Then the AI might actually kill the general, but we'll see. Mauer might be killed in the battle, but it's fair. We have a huge Isengard army and a huge Rohan army, Rohirrim army, Rohirric army maybe. So it'll be a hard battle, but we have the advantage. Victory is a distant possibility. Specifically focused on spearmen and pikemen to handle Isengard. I only wanted to attack with the siege bow so we could destroy so we could start the battle. Then I thought maybe the AI could fight the battle, but should have placed the general under my control too, then he wouldn't die. Now he might die, but we'll fight the battle. Try to avoid Bandicam. It's like up in the middle there. I can't move the mouse there without the game tabbing out. I enjoyed this mod. I enjoyed the original mod too. Thought it was even better than Third Age of the War, the original Third Age of the War, because it had like battlefields that were connected. So when you fought, for example, near Mount Doom, you saw Mount Doom in the unplayable area next to the area you were fighting in. And when you fought in the Mount Doom area, you were next to the mountain. So you could see like areas of the regions nearby on the battlefields when you fought. So you fought on a battlefield, you could see, for example, Edras or Isengard in the far distance if they were nearby, which I liked. And I also thought that the game didn't lag on
A
my
new
game.
power is rising. No one can resist the voice of Saruman.
Alright, and also it didn't lag on my game yesterday and was super stable. I don't know what happened with the Mordor campaign because it was super stable back then. But then later it ended up not being stable. After updating, I believe I never changed the actual game version, but I probably years passed and installed other mods and such too, and even reinstalling the game didn't help. Somehow the save was unstable when I tried to play it after reinstalling, even with the same version. But if I restart the campaign, it will work fine, because I tried an older campaign and it worked fine, no crashes at all. So I guess if you wait too long with playing a certain faction, then it might end up unstable, the old save. I guess if I would play it from scratch, it would be stable again. I prefer Isengard over Mordor. I don't remember why I picked Mordor back then. Probably because I had played Isengard a lot in Third Age of the War and thought maybe I should try Mordor for once. Anyway, these models, by the way, look better than the ones that were used previously. They look exactly like in the movies. Previously I believe they had blue skin, now they have the reddish skin from the movies. I prefer it. So that's clearly an improvement. I don't know if all the models have the red skin too. Maybe there are some that has the blue skin in this mod, I don't know. But I believe in the original mod that only a few units had the red skin, and then in Good Elf submod all of them had the red skin. I believe that in the original mod they had like grey colors, the same as the armor, which didn't fit the legs and the arms because that's just skin. I liked Wood Elf's submod, which added a red skin to the arms and legs and faces and such. I believe the face was always red in all versions. Okay, we will place the siege bow in loose formation. Also rather than loose. Okay, let's start battle then. Maybe we should be placing it here instead.
Move your feet.
And this will of course just bombard the enemy. Of course melee, no tanks. Group, no tanks, fired will, yeah, that's what we want. They don't have any gates, I believe. It's a village, so we'll just terrorize them and destroy their buildings. Fuck, I reached that bandicam area, so the game tabbed out again. Okay, so we'll click start battle.
The tide's turning, boys. A great many of our Mordor lads fill in the lines. Seems now that the fighting's all but done as I sees it.
Oh, by the way, one thing that I absolutely loved about Lord of the Rings to the War for Rome to the War Alexander is the new narrator for all the factions, I believe, in the game. Some of the voice lines were fan-made, like for example the Gondorians had fan-made voice lines, many of them. But with Mordor, as you can see, and Isengard, they share, I believe in Rome to the War, factions share culture. So they are not faction specific. That means that all the humans of a certain culture share voice lines and music and such. And the orcs share music, and so the goblins, Isengard and Mordor share music, and they share voices and UI and like the narrator. So we have the Mordor orc speaking for both Mordor, Isengard and the goblins, which I thought was really immersive, instead of having the original Rome to the War Roman guy or having something else. Okay, so and DegoX has ported it over to this version, the remaster. It's really cool. But I know that he didn't finish it for he didn't port over all the voices for every faction, at least not the last time I tried the mod during the summer. I don't know if he's done it now, but as far as what I could read yesterday on the Discord, some factions are lacking their custom voices and such. But in the original mod for Rome, they do have custom voices. So it's probably just a matter of time before they add that. But for the orcs, they already have it. So that's also one reason why I wanted to play Isengard in this mod, and not the elves, because they sound like Romans probably. Okay. I will see the siege bow firing the bow in the remaster. Yeah, it's the same bow. It looks cool. Oh shit, they are charging out against the siege bow. They didn't want us to destroy their buildings. Charge with the cavalry. I love the horses too, they look great. They are much better than the Rome Total War horses. Of course, the remastered version can handle new models. There are a bunch of new models here, like the new horses, new faces, new bodies. Same armor, which is nice because I liked it. Oh, they killed our poor.
The rock of the army lies dead. The
Killed our
maggots are starting
poor
to run even now, hearing his loss.
troops.
Listen up! Come on, you
Fuck
slugs!
that. I didn't want to control the army. We need to exit. Exit battle. We'll need to restart it.
Oh, dead.
In the old game you can play, could place them so they are controlled by